Hi everybody, just a quick little update on the master bedroom ensuite build. So, tried to be as productive as I could in the 3 days leading up to having had my surgery, and you always wish you could have got a little bit more done, but you know, you run into all these little unexpected things along the way and you have to deal with them, and so I got as much done as I possibly could. But the good news is that we got the tiles in the recess there. Obviously nothing's grouted yet, so yeah, I need to grout, and everything's in here. So right up to the top. We still got that last course to put in, but as I said, each cut sort of has to be measured because the roof is completely out. I did stick the level on the cornice, and it is the roof, it's not my tiling. The floor's completely level, and I knew that prior to starting, and I also knew that when I was laying these tiles. As you can see, we have some floor tiles down as well. So I've only gone to here because Sunday night I used up the bucket of mud that I had, and I wasn't going to mix any more because we were getting sort of on the, you know, like on the sun going down on sunset, and I couldn't be tiling in the dark. I probably could have got a few more done, but on this side now we start to get a little bit technical because now all the tiles have to be sloped down from the shower door back. They've got to remain level here, and then there'll be a very slight step up, and then everything will run in towards the drain. So I got a chance to put the back ones in. The only thing I don't like about these dark tiles, I do like the colour, and that's why I've gone with them again in this bathroom rather than pick something else, is that when you cut these black tiles, no matter what you cut it with, a tile cutting machine, whether you cut it with an angle grinder, and I've got several different tile cutting blades. I've got a very flat one, I've got one with some, they're not serrations on the sides of each side of the blade, but they obviously definitely have some sort of cutting motion. So I've got different blades, and no matter what you cut it with, you tend to get, there's not so much chips. There's a little bit of grout still there, so it's probably a bad one to show you, but you see the white along the edge of the tile, which is really bad. Now I cut these ones and you don't notice it, but on the black you really do notice it. And I guess the only way, now I did this in the other bathroom, but I decided to go with something different here to see how it grouts up. If I'm not happy with it, well, I can always take the tiles out, but what I did use is I used a flap disc, which sounds strange. It's a metal flap disc. I would imagine you could buy them for tiles and ceramics and things like that, but I only had a metal one in the garage. So, but what I did in the other bathroom is I actually just tapered the edge off, and then I had a taper in on each side like you would prepare if you were going to weld two pieces of steel together, and then I tried to grout it, but the problem is you still end up seeing this white cut. I guess the only way to completely get rid of it is to get some tile paint and paint the edges before you actually grout. So that's a third option that I could possibly go with, but I don't plan building a third bathroom, so yeah, so it's just the way it is. Even with these ones, these are a different tile altogether. I got these sort of when I bought the package off Facebook Marketplace. I ended up getting whatever I got, 7 boxes or something for like $200, where it would have cost me $360. So they had these as well, so I grabbed these. I just thought this would be nice, and it'd be a little bit different than the other bathroom. I don't want the two bathrooms to be a carbon copy of each other. I want them to have their own feel. But I had to cut, I think it's 150 mil cut there. I had to cut 3 of those. So I had to cut one for there, one for here, and one for here. I also had to cut all these ones that go in the top, but I was lucky enough that I could hide the cuts behind the full tiles here, behind the tapered edge of the full tiles. So that worked out really well. But these side ones, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. These ones did tend to cut a little better. They weren't as prominent, I think, because they're, I'm guessing now, but these are just a flat glass with no like grain or texture within it, where these are sort of, you know, they're blotchy, and I think you tend to pick up on the cuts more. You can see around the edge here. So it just stands out. There's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, warning to anybody that's going to use a dark tile, unless you're a tiler and you have some magical remedy for this not happening, you know, just be cautious if you know, because you will, it does disappoint the first cuts you make, and you think, geez, how am I going to hide that? But it is what it is. Like I put tape, I put several layers of painter's tape on the good side so that I wouldn't get chips. Now I think the tape did help to a degree. It definitely helped to a degree, but the cut line's a cut line and it does leave it white. So just be aware with these dark grey tiles or black tiles or whatever you cut, you're either going to get that white edge or you're going to get the, most tiles have like a terracotta backing. They're pink, so you'll either get the pink or you'll get a white, which I think is the base of the glaze. Before they put the glaze on, they obviously put something on there, and that prepping surface is what you see when you make the cut. So yeah, bit unfortunate. Drain came up really good. So I did cut the trench according to what I believed I needed to cut it in the beginning, but obviously the drain needs to have a slope on it, and the drain needs to slope at a specific angle. Now they say that the rule of thumb is it's 12.5 millimeters over a 1 meter span. So this is just over 400 here. So half of 12.5 is about 6.25. So we just rounded it down to 6.2. So that's what we've done. We've put a 6.2 here. And this is just over 500. So sort of split the difference, you know. So we're going to stick with a 6.2 slope here. So I had to obviously accommodate for that. I had to accommodate for the fall, but I had to accommodate for the slope of the tile. So I had to sort of work something out in between that was going to work for not only the angle of the drain going that way, but for the tiles coming in from these directions. From that end, pretty much ground level. So just, it's the width of a tile, that's 6 mil, so that's perfect. This end obviously had to be a little bit higher for the slope, but I've allowed here for the slope to come in. But very happy. Put a bed of, like I said, I cut the trench to what I thought I needed to cut it, so I cut it a little bit deeper. And I put a bed of tile cement down there, so I didn't have any, say, little jagged bits of, you know, concrete sort of sticking up into the drain. You know, I didn't want to get get stuck on that and then like bash it down and then put a dent in the drain. So I made it a little bit deeper, put a bed of tile mud down there and settled it all in nicely, and it's stuck there. I can probably lift it out. I haven't tried. I would say that you can, because it doesn't really stick to the stainless steel. So there's probably a really nice rectangular molded piece of tile cement in there. And yeah, but when I get to doing the floor and stuff, if I need to take it out, I'll try and lift it out. It'll just be a little bit better for me to be able to silicone around where the stainless steel outlet comes off and goes into the plastic one that's embedded in the slab. So I can still do it through the top here because it's not very deep at all. It's less than a finger's depth away, but I wanted to smear a little bit around the bottom of the stainless steel and then push it down onto the plastic outlet, just for a better seal. But this stainless steel one also sits inside the plastic, so it actually sits down probably a good 15 mil into the plastic. So it has, yeah, it's inserted. So I shouldn't, you know, water's going to go down. It's not going to come up unless you've got a blockage. And then the only place it's going to go is back into this drain because the plastic is encased by the slab. So there's no real hassle there. I've been trying to work out how to mount the shower screen. Now this side's no issue. They screw in, and they also have what they call double-sided mirror tape. So I've just put one little piece there just to hold that in place for the moment because it's all dry fit up. I've got 3 holes in this trim, so I intend to screw this one home, screw this into that timber stud that it backs onto. So that's no problem. Then you can bring the shower screen in and slide that into the channel, but then you've got to work out how you're going to get 3 screws in here with the shower screen, because you can't, if you screw it on there, the shower screen's too wide because it has to fit inside the rebate. So I know I can get away with one. I can bring the shower screen in, slide it in there, push the shower screen in with the trim. I can lift the shower trim up 300 mil towards the ceiling. I can get the screw in here and then lower the shower screen back down, but I can't get one in the middle and I can't get one in the top. So that's my issues at the moment, trying to work out how to get these 2 screws in. Now I'm pretty sure the mirror tape plus silicone, which will obviously seal in along this join, will be enough to hold it. That mirror tape's good for, I think 80 kilograms, maybe more. And then, I don't know, whatever the strength of a good bathroom silicone would hold. So I might be able to get away with not putting screws in there, or I might be able to work something off the top of the shower screen itself and put a little tiny right angle bracket off the top. Now the sides of the shower screen are different. As you can see, nothing protrudes from the horizontal extrusion on this side, but it does on this side. So I don't know whether that's designed that way to help get the shower screen into the C channels or not. It's obviously something I haven't been able to try until I had the bulkhead in and I had the tiles on the wall, because this gives me my true, this now gives me my true opening. So now it's just going to be trying to work out the best way to do it. But I know at worst case scenario, I could definitely get one in the bottom, no issue there. And if I have to at the top, I can probably run something off the top of that, as I said. It doesn't even need to be a right angle, it can be straight because it finishes level with the top of this. So I can just screw in through the top of the frame and then screw in through the top of this tile here, and that goes straight down into the timber, so that'll probably be enough to hold it. Can't really tell you much more at the moment, guys. I put the plate over the mixer just to have a look at it and see how neat it looked. Looks really good. The pipe for the toilet lines up pretty spot on. It's got the slightest little bit of back tilt, which is what you want. So I'm really happy with this. And the good thing too is it's not one of these toilets where you have it's a four screw attachment. It's only a 2 screw, so it's less holes I've got to drill, less chances of cracking the tiles when I drill them. So one thing I am thinking about, and I'm still at a point where I can do it, is I've obviously got my double power point here, which is for the vanity, for running hair dryers and hair straighteners and whatever else you plug into there, razors and all sorts of stuff. But I was thinking, and I was going to do this initially, but then I decided not to, but now I'm thinking I should have. I was going to put another power point in here. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that grey lead line that's drawn on the tiles. That is the bottom of the vanity unit. What I was thinking of doing is putting a power point in. I can't go right in the corner because my plumbing's there, but I can go in along here, just below this line, and put a power point in here, which will be under the vanity. You won't see it, or you shouldn't see it. And I was going to use that. Now I've got a whole lot of LED strip lighting, proper bathroom and kitchen stuff, not these strips of LEDs you buy from the local hardware store. This stuff's all professional cabinet makers stuff that you would install in modern kitchens, modern bathrooms. I got all that from my second last previous workplace. They were getting rid of it, and obviously because new styles came in, new stocks came in, but this stuff still looks like it, it's current stock. So I said to him, yeah, I'll take it. So I got everything. I got all the transformers, cables, clips, extensions, the whole lot. Got the whole lot. So I'm thinking about maybe running an LED strip in here, but running it in underneath the front bottom edge of the vanity to light up that footwell under there. Or I might be able to put a couple inside the cupboards, and the only thing I would need to do is I'd need to get some pressure switches, and when you open the doors, the 2 main doors on the front of the unit, it will light up that whole main storage area. I'm not really worried about the slide out drawers, but if I can have a nice encased LED strip light in there, I think that'd be really nice. It'd be a nice touch, and to be honest, if I've got the stuff, why not use it? I've got enough cable here where I can actually just poke this back down the wall, take the sheathing off, just bend it in half, put it straight into the back of the point, and then run this back up. Run this back up into the into this one here. So I'm thinking that's an option. So I've got a couple of weeks to think about what I want to do. I've been making lists out of all the things left to finish in here, and a list of all the things I'm capable of doing with one hand, until such time as I can use both hands again. Grouting. Now, some of the grouting I think I can do. I think I can pretty much grout everything in here. I can do that with one hand. That shouldn't be an issue. As to when I start the grouting, I'm not exactly sure. We'll give it a couple of days, So, just rest the hand up a little bit. Another job I'll be able to do in a couple of days' time is I'll be able to run some no more gaps in behind this trim. Obviously you never get everything perfect, but any places where there's gaps, I'll run some no more gaps in there. Tape up the trim, obviously, to keep it clean, and then there'll be no more gaps there. And then what I can do is I can seal these three sides. So I'll do that right around, get rid of all the gaps, and we'll seal this up with some paint, whether it be sealing white or whether it be some of that sealer I used, which I put on this wall. Strange thing is that actually it didn't come up too bad on this wall, but it come up really bad along the wardrobe. I don't know why. This wasn't a new piece of plaster either. This was like this was recycled, so it's not the fact that I went over old painted plaster and then I went over fresh plaster. They're pretty much the same. I just don't know why that went that way. But then, if you remember, I had trouble with trying to get plaster to dry in that internal corner, so this was just a bit of a headache. Why, I don't know, but yeah. So we'll get this sealed up. Still haven't decided on a paint colour for the room, but I've got time because the window's still got to go in, and that one's obviously got to be bricked up, and then we'll plaster right through here. We'll get some nice 3.6 metre long boards, so I only have to put 2 boards in there and have one centre join right along the length of that wall. But yeah, definitely not a job for now. What else? So probably some of the other jobs that I'm capable of doing at the moment is I've got a couple of little spots here that I need to sand back. I can do that with one hand. I've got some stuff on this side here that I need to sand back. I can get that done. I can even get this in undercoat and seal all this up over the next week and a half until I go back for my first post-op checkup. So yeah, there's a few things I can get done, and once all that's sealed up, I already know the colour. As I mentioned to you, I was going to do it in the same colour grey that's in this living room. So when you look through the door, it's almost like a continuation of the wall. So we've got the paint. So once the undercoat's dry, then I can even attempt to paint in here as well. So yeah, and the architraves are off. So the really good thing is I'm not going to get paint all over the architraves. Even the top of the architrave, I don't even really need to tape that up because you're coming down onto it. It's probably only just the side of this one that I need a strip of paint. A strip of tape, and this one here. So just these two pieces of architrave need some tape down them. And obviously the bottom one here, So just this section here. The rest of it I can get away with. I'm not bad with a paintbrush, so cutting in's not a big drama. I'm not going to get paint everywhere, but yeah. So that's about it, guys. Not much more to tell. Just sat the divider in there between the tiles and the carpet. I do need to trim the tiles back a little bit, but I need to trim the carpet back a little bit too. So I've sort of got to find the middle ground there between the two, but that's the trim that'll go in there. There's still no underlay under here, so as you can see, it dips down there a little bit, and it's sitting on top of the carpet, which is sitting on top of the tile. That's why it's rolling back. But once I cut the carpet correctly and I cut the tile correctly, and then I get the underlay under there, that'll take this huge dip out of here. So yeah, I'll leave it here for now, and yeah, probably do a video, I don't know, maybe in a week's time, because I'm not going to get very much done over the next couple of days, and I'll upload something then. And till then, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.